How's it going, everybody? Alright, we are back tonight with some more Twilight Princess HD. I'm pretty sure that we're actually coming up on the very end here. We're at the Palace of Twilight, at the very least. Actually, it kind of looks like we're in a pretty comparable place to where we were at last time we played this, according to the file data here. So, yeah, tonight's session should be finishing Twilight Princess HD. And depending on how the night goes, we might actually even be starting into Phantom Hourglass as well. So, yeah, well, it looks like we're pretty much on track for finishing this up. I'm pretty excited about it. Also kind of sad that we'll be moving on from Twilight Princess, but also kind of glad. This is actually one of those ones that I really don't mind being in the middle of, so, you know, having been through this one already, it's kind of like, it's a little bittersweet. But there are other games that are coming up soon, including Phantom Hourglass, Spirit Tracks, Skyward Sword HD, which I bought when it came out last July, and I have yet to actually touch it. It's been out of the packaging, and that's been about it. But yeah, I'm excited to get a start back into this. So I guess we'll go ahead and dive in. How's your evening going, Metal King? Wait, this guy isn't an enemy, Sarge. They might look different, but they're inhabitants of this world. They're my people. Zant, how could he? And they've all got those ugly faces, the same as the beasts we've been slaying. It's a day? It's definitely a day. Based off of some of the things you've told me about your day, I'm sorry to hear that some of it was not so great, but could also be worse. I haven't done much in terms of work today, apart from when I did overtime. That's alright, it is a Friday. See, I can definitely appreciate needing an easy, laid-back day, especially after the week that I was having. My Wednesday was not a great day. I went into work despite feeling like I really didn't want to, and only ended up doing a half day that day. Yes, I was informed about that situation. Difficult situation to be in. Well, there's what you should do, and then there's also what I would do, given that situation. I mean, if it were up to me, I'm not even entirely sure that I would do what would be expected. But that's me being completely honest. This black fog is made up of shadow crystals created by Zant. They blot out light. He's responsible for stealing the light from the spirits and turning your world into twilight. He's not all powerful. We're prepared too. I can return you to normal state whenever you need me. So don't worry, okay? Yep, we just have to do that from outside of this fog. If it were me, I would probably recommend that that person takes the rest of the day off. That's just me. If you really want to cover your bases, if you're still in that conversation, you could even let them know ahead of time, saying, hey, it's my obligation to be truthful about this situation, and I just wanted to give you the opportunity to close down for the night, take the night off, so that I don't have to. Well, that is the choice she made, man. So, just gonna put that out there. She should have been thinking about that before making the decision that she made today. And be truthful. Let her know that if she doesn't, then you are obligated to say something. Too much of a coward to face me, huh? So I noticed we had OBS dropping out on us a second ago. Some news on that front is that I have some computer parts coming in. Actually, they're not just coming in, some of them have already gotten here. All parts that I need for my my build are all here, or not all here, but they're all been ordered, and half of them are here. Which means that sometime in the very near future of the next week or two, we will have a new PC to be playing all these games off of, including the use of my internal capture card that I've been holding on to for a good minute. I think that was a lucky hit. Yep, I mean, really, that's kind of on her for putting herself in a situation where you would be able to say anything. The reality is that she should know. She should know what is right to do in the situation. And the fact of the matter that she doesn't means that really she has no one to be angry at but herself. But she'll still figure out a way to take it out on you. People can always come to me about anything, I don't know, trying to distract myself by thinking about other things. It's not going as well as I'd hoped. Well, I mean, you can take the other approach and just decide that it's not your problem. That is also an option. But that is entirely up to you. That is a shining sphere. That shining sphere illuminates this world. It's called a soul. It's like the sun of your world, Sarge. The Power of the soul is the source of life in this world. It is pure power. Huh. As long as you have this, would you take the soul to the Twilight at the entrance of this world? Please, Sarge. Yeah, sure, why not? Just grab it from this creepy hand. Yeah, this ain't anxiety-inducing at all. I love the things that lie in wait at the top of the stairs, waiting for me to... just trying to do what I'm trying to do, and there they are. "12.5 hours? Oh, right. Till tomorrow morning. Good moly. Twilight rats, man. Hello. You know what? There's a treasure chest over there that I think I want. Huh. And evidently I can't get it that way. I'll take that. Thank you kindly. Why are you worried you're gonna embarrass Kyo? Be more worried about embarrassing yourself. She's gonna be around people she knows. You jerks. Alright, we're gonna try some tricky maneuvers here. Oh, I went too far. Hey, V. We beat the boss yet? I mean, I've been live for all but a couple of minutes here. I don't know how I'm supposed to have supposedly beaten any bosses. There, go fetch. Welcome, welcome, V. How is your evening going? No, I saw you fairly recently. Yoink. All the Zelda games under 20 minutes. I am not a speedrunner. If you want speedrunning, you're in the wrong channel. Man, I don't even have an Ocarina of Time clear in 20 minutes. That's my favorite game of all time. Nope. Speedrunning is not for me. I will endure tedium, but not of the speedrunning variety. Chill afternoon, planning, learning more school stuff. Very nice. The next Zelda game will be Phantom Hourglass. We should be getting to that one tonight, actually. I tried playing around with the emulation settings. I haven't figured out a good way to do the windows for it so that it kind of looks a little bit nicer. So we'll make do with what we've got. I think really we're going to just be lucky that we're going to get to play it at all. But it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, I've got it all set up, and it should run just fine, and I should be able to stream it just fine, but yeah, the windows on it, I didn't figure out how to split it apart and get certain windows to be smaller, and that's kind of the thing with Phantom Hourglass, is that sometimes the main stuff is on one screen, and then it switches which screen it is actually on. It's kind of weird. So, we'll handle it in the vertical method, where everything will be top screen on top, and the everything from the bottom screen will be happening on the bottom. I'm not going to bother trying to figure out really all the extra, like, breaking it apart and everything just right now. I'll try and figure that out on my own time, I think. Favorite snack? Gosh, you're asking someone who loves food what their favorite snack is. I don't know. I go through a lot of different phases. Things don't sound good forever to me. I mean, I like snacking on peanuts. I think that's those are just fine. For me, I think I usually lean more towards sweets. I can be a little bit into chocolate, but only for like a certain amount of time, and then like I'm not huge into chocolate, and then other times I want salty, like crackers or sometimes fruit, bananas, you know. I don't know. For me, I just whatever's around the house and whatever sounds good at that particular moment in time. I have such a hard time shopping for snacks because like something will sound really, really good at that moment while I'm at the store, and I go, okay, this is what I want, but then I don't end up wanting it very much. Or I'll want it several times until all of a sudden I don't eat them anymore, and they've been sitting in the cabinet for weeks. What about you? What are your favorites? Hello. I kind of get a laugh about big ol' Zant face just popping up right in front of me. Like, oh, hi! How many DS games are there? There are 2 for the DS, and there are 2 for the 3DS. So a total of 4 games on DS, but the ones that are on the 3DS are usually a little bit more manageable because I can adjust those screens just fine. And I've already figured out all of that, so that's my 3DS emulator is actually in better. I don't know. I think I prefer my my 3DS emulator over the DS one. Ooh, that hurt. Salty snacks for you? Yeah, I mean, right at the moment we've got a carton of goldfish. Goldfish just fine. Not gonna lie, right now I could really go for some. I could go for some cheese right about now. I do like cheese. I'll usually grab a bag of Havarti and Gouda sticks from the store. Those I never seem to get tired of. So I guess my favorite snack must be cheese. I am actually a fairly the opposite of picky. I am not a picky eater. Which is great because anytime Kyo wants to figure out what we're doing for dinner, she always asks me first, what do I want for dinner? And I'm like, babe, I don't know why you always ask me, because anytime that I say something, it's not what you want, or you don't like it. And yet she always insists still that I pick dinner. So then I'll pick dinner, and she'll say, well, I don't want that. And I say, exactly. So now that I've put out my suggestion, why don't you say what you want? And then she'll finally have a suggestion. And regardless of what it is, I always say, sounds perfect, babe. Let's have that. There's really only a handful of things that I just flat out will not eat, but thankfully they're also the same things that that Kyo. Wow, sorry, babe. That Kyo also does not enjoy eating, so it works out. My least favorite things that I honestly have a hard time with. Top of the list is meatloaf. I have a hard time with meatloaf. I can't stand chili. I can eat beans okay, but like just doing it as chili. The thing about chili is that it smells wonderful, but it tastes disgusting to me. I really hate walking into a room of chili because like it makes my stomach go, that smells so good. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what is that heavenly smell? And then everyone's like, oh, we're doing up some chili. And I'm like, oh. Big disappointment. And my third that I just absolutely cannot do is oatmeal. I tried oatmeal once, one time when I was a kid. I was particularly sick that day and just was not feeling very well. My mom really wanted me to eat, so I had a bowl of oatmeal, and it didn't sit right. And so ever since then, I just have never been able to eat oatmeal again. Even the thought of it just, nope. Better chili? That's the thing, King, is that I have actually had many different chili. People, you know, my father-in-law has a recipe that he got from his father or his grandfather or something like that. And like everyone in the family loves that chili. Like it even has won some of the their ward cookouts, their chili cook-offs. And so it's like it's quote-unquote award-winning chili, and I took a spoonful of it, and I just like, I'm sorry, this ain't for me. I just, again, smelled wonderful. I wish that I could devour the scent, because the smell is amazing, but I just can't, I don't know what it is about the chili, I just don't like it. It does not taste the way that it smells. Although I do have that same problem with bean with bacon soup. Kyo loves to make bean with bacon soup, and I have that same problem with it. That she'll make that and I just go, oh my gosh, that smells heavenly. But I've had a bite of it and I'm just like, nope. I like baked beans just fine, yeah. Baked beans is fine. I like refried beans too. Basic keeps me thin and healthy. Sorry, I had to read through that extra G. That was a good one. Apparently if we just stand here in the center, eventually he comes back around. Got him. Oh yeah, the mobile struggles. I know how that is. Have to try my uncle's recipe for baked beans. It's got mustard, salsa, bacon, and other things. I'm down to try. Sounds like it should be good. It really might come down to just the way beans are done for me. I think that must be it more than anything else, is that it's not so much that I have a problem with dishes being what they are, but, you know, I don't know. I guess for me, I really just get disappointed with the fact that it just does not taste the way it smells to me. Makes me very sad. Whoa. Okay. Mine. Oh. Man, I just yoinked that. Right as he was going down to try and grab it. Denied. Whoa. How did that end up all the way out there? Oop. Oh dear. Oh, that hand got stuck. That's unfortunate. Yeah, and as it stands, I'm pretty much down to try anything at least once. So anytime anybody is like, "You have to try this," I'm usually pretty adventurous. I'll try anything. Beam me up, Scotty. Oh, if we can just hurry this up, thank you. Perfect. I'm sure your heart broke when you saw it stuck and couldn't go after the soul. I mean, hey, that's really sad, you know? It really wanted this this little shiny ball, and I told it no. I told it, "Chuck, no, Farley." Go! I don't think they ever actually explain the lore with this one, so... Light filled the Master Sword. Its blade glows with a golden light in the Twilight Realm. With it, you can cut through dark fog. Oh, look. Hey, Iron, how's it going? Guardian deities of my world are on our side, too. Oh, so that's all it is, then. The Guardian deities decided that Link is the almighty carrier of the light. Okay. You really are the chosen one, Sarge. A true hero. As long as you have that sword, you should be able to repel the shadows Sant has spread. Sounds reasonable to me. Get bent. How are you doing this evening, Iron? There we are. This part's a little nicer, not nearly as much of a rush to try and get through areas. Whoa! That was dangerous. Alrighty. I want some more. If you hit one of the souls with a sword, it would have been a Costa del Sol. You are not wrong, friend. Less hurry. I'm kind of hoping that Power will show up, because I've got some fun information that regards him. So I think I'll hold out to provide that information until after we see any indication of him coming in. If it's been a couple hours and he still doesn't show, then I'll let you guys know. Hello. Well, you can find rupees. There we go. I get up at 7:30 tomorrow morning, so I can do 1.5 hours of overtime before getting Kyo. A grand total of 30 hours of overtime. That's pretty sweet. It's quite a bit. Big key, we're gonna need that. Yeah, this dungeon really does not take that long. Ouch. No, but it sure chews through HP faster than I was expecting it to. Then again, with where we're at in hero mode right now, we pretty much expect that anything to just be devastating by this point. Still on for 9 tomorrow. Should work out for me, I think. That should be just fine. Does that work out for Joe? Wow. I have no idea how that didn't do any damage to us. Oof. Getting wrecked here. I really have no idea how much help I'm gonna be, but... really, the longer I go without playing Elden Ring, the longer I feel like I'm gonna lose touch on that. That's all good. There we go. I think this is our small key, right? Nice. Alright. Open this up. Yeah, I might need a little practice before we go in. Try to get my my feeling for the game again. Whoa! Okay. Yeah, okay. How do I keep managing to not get that last one? Also, why aren't you dying? I think there's something very wrong here. Okay. There we go. He is small. Well, I mean, I also have a big one, so... I have two. Why won't you die? Yeah, that's an excellent question. I would love to have known why that last one wasn't dying, but... sometimes we don't get to know the answer, you know? I think this is the one I want. Ba-da-da-da-dum. There it is. Can I not grapple that? You're the one that I want. You are the one I want. Ooh, 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 honey. That would be grease. Okay. 10 points to Ravenclaw. Oh, you retained that information, that I am a Ravenclaw. Interesting. Says it works for him. Cool. May have to help him beat Elden Beast. Think he's getting a bit salty. For the record, you're basically done. I don't know if you've selected an ending yet, but you're basically done. Or if you're gonna do all of the endings, then I guess you'll be ahead of me, getting that platinum first. But I refuse to let myself be salty about that, because really, that has nothing to do with anyone else or anything. It had everything to do with the fact that I should have been aware of the auto-save, or the auto-upload feature. Wow, okay. Okay, I guess we're just gonna die today. Excuse me. Die. Yeah, King is still, his copy of the game is still sitting on a game store shelf somewhere. if you want to be technical about it. Oh, V, you would wait until I'm down to my last quarter of a heart. Joke's on you. Any any hit I was gonna take, I was gonna die anyway. Awesome. Thanks for that, V. We'll go ahead and turn the Ganondorf amiibo on, so I will take double damage. I am currently equipped with a fairy and 3 potions. I think I'm gonna use one of my potions right now, actually. You're back with snacks. Any to share? Alright, so I think we are 1 room from the, yeah, we're 1 room from Xant's chamber. Oh, we have to go through him again, I think, too. Obnoxiously. No, we're just gonna go through waves and waves of beasts. Okay. Is that it? That's it. Lots of spicy roasted peanuts and plain ones. Who says I don't have a heart? I mean, for the record, V has given us a restore before as well. Not that I'm asking for one. I just used a potion, so, you know, I'm good on hearts at the moment. Full health, 17 hearts, times 4 damage, up against Xant. Wish me luck. I could have sworn that there was supposed to be another piece of heart somewhere in this mess of a dungeon. Not what the V stands for. Void, as in where your heart should be. Oof, that's icy. V might be a bit on the impish side, but she does have a heart. She does care. Just die already. I still have a fairy. I'm not gonna die. And I have 2 more potions, too. Xant. Isn't this ironic? Here we are, all thanks to the dark magic curse you placed on Sarge. That it does. You speak of magic, still your tongue for a moment, whelp, and I will tell you of both magic and the oppression of ages. The scene keeps flipping between the helmet being all the way down and it being up. It's weird. In a second, when it was backed out, his mouth guard was still covered, but it had been uncovered previously, and then it went back to being uncovered again. Oh no! Iron, you're gonna have to do New Game Plus too. Dang, that sucks. Well, at least you're in the same boat as me. You have technically beaten the game, so you know, you get to lay that claim to fame. The people of our tribe, a tribe that mastered the arts of magic, were locked away in this world like insects in a cage. In the shadows we regressed, so much so that we soon knew neither anger nor hatred, nor even the faintest bloom of desire. And all of it was the fault of a useless, do-nothing royal family that had resigned itself to this miserable half-existence. Even Midna is speechless. Gosh. I had served and endured in that depraved household for far too long, my impudent princess. And why, you ask? Because I believed that I would be the next to rule our people. That is why. But would they acknowledge me as their king? No, and as such, I was denied the magic powers befitting our ruler. It was then, in the thrall of hatred and despair, that I turned my eyes to the heavens and found a god. You're just fighting a wacko. You are not wrong. That's what you get for rubbing strange statues. That is kind of the unfortunate thing, is that really they build Zant up to be a really, you know, terrible, not terrible as in like bad, like awful, but a terrifying enemy in his own right. Oh, that is the face of Ganondorf. I shall house my power in you. If there is anything you desire, then I shall desire it too. Yeah, for the record, I didn't want to have to do the Randy quest again as well. That's gonna suck. Anyway, Zant really should have been this, like, awesome, terrifying character, and he poses as such the way through this game. I'm sorry, guys, I'm missing dialogue. To merge shadow and light and make darkness. Oh, look, Ganondorf doing his shit again. Usurper King Zant. So, you know, it's just when Zant's not wearing the helmet, you really shows that he's just he is just a wacko, and, you know, it's kind of lame. Almost a letdown, really. Get over here. Whoa, okay. That's not what I wanted. No, bad, 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 bad. Okay, give me a second here. Not gonna be able to change my stuff around nearly fast enough. Go, Sam, go. Woof. Okay, those take a bit. Now we see which side V's actually rooting for. That changed the game again. I think that it was like a choice encounter to Ganondorf go to him because he was lured his hatred like a magnet. Probably that. If I had to venture any guesses. Open wide. Time to get bent, punk. This is a very big head. You're on the winning side. Well, that's my side. I'm the winning side here. Easter Island can suck it. Where is he? There he is. Get out here. Perfect. And, okay. Dang it. I keep doing that. I don't mean to. This next phase is gonna be annoying. Panic roll! Okay. Don't land on me, don't land on me, don't land on me, don't land on me. Yeah, we're gonna panic roll here for sure. Okay, this is the most obnoxious thing in the game. Trying to catch up to him while on ice. I just do not like this encounter. Woo! Oh, thank goodness. I'm so glad to be out of that phase. That phase sucks. Here we go. This is where things get interesting. I have it on good authority that this is King's favorite part of the entire game. Heck! Dude! Oh my gosh! Oh! I just got bodied. Oh, man, that hurts. My gosh. We're panicking. Oh, heck. There we go. Hate him in this part. And just use a shield? Yeah. Believe it or not, King, shields are useful in Zelda games. In fact, most games that have shields, they are useful if you use them. That boss is lame. This part's not so lame. Midna's about to do something crazy good here. She just got back all the fused shadows. You traitors! Running around dodging him like an idiot. Traitors? Ha! You want to know why none would call you king? It was your eyes, Zant. All saw it, a lust for power burning in your pupils. He doesn't even have pupils. Did you think we'd forget our ancestors lost their king to such greed? Midna, foolish Twilight Princess, the curse on you cannot be broken. It was placed on you by the magic of my god. The power you held as the leader of the Twilight will never return. I guess he does have pupils. Already he has descended and been reborn in this world. As long as my master Ganon survives, he will resurrect me without cease. Oh. Pop. Jeez, Midna. I used just a fraction of that power that's in me now. I did that using only a fraction of my ancestors' magic? Yep. And he's pretty gone. Shiny Alley, how's it going? Yep, you're here in time for the endings. We have Hyrule Castle after this, and that's pretty much it. We're currently playing on ×4 damage as well. Good to see you. Sarge, now is the time. We must save Zelda. The evil power Zant was wielding, I couldn't take it from him, but at least I still have the magic of my ancestors. With it, I can return the cherished power Zelda bestowed upon me. Now, let's go. Princess Zelda is waiting. Exhausted. Yeah, I can appreciate that. ×4 damage? Of course you are. Who's the culprit? This time it's V4. Yeah, V is the one that turned it on. I mean, anyone can turn it off whenever they want to. It's been more than 10 minutes. I'll get you out of here. You're sure there's nothing else you need to do, right? Yep. Actually, there is one more thing that I do need to do in this dungeon. Go kiss Zelda. That doesn't happen in this game, V. You want to see that? It happens in very brief second in Zelda 2. Oh, I turn it off, adds to the fun. Hey, it's just there as an option for other people to contribute, however they'd like to. Basically, the game I play is up to you guys. So, Ganondorf was just using Zant to help him return to the world of light. I guess now we know the true nature of the barrier over Hyrule Castle. He's in Hyrule Castle, I'm sure of it. Princess Zelda is in grave danger. We must return to the world of light and hurry to the castle. So what do you guys think? Should we do some of the last extras of this game before we finish? Or should we just head on into to the ending? This game sucks. Honestly, this isn't a very great game for Link and Zelda's relationship, because really, the only time that Link and Zelda are together while Link is in human form is at the very, very end of the game. So it's this one doesn't really have a Link and Zelda relationship that is really that impressive. It has a lot more to do with Link and Midna more than anything. It's a lot more Link and Midna in this one. Hey, Power! Yes, that absolutely counts. Alright, so I was actually just waiting for you to show up today, so that I could show this one off. But, I was out today, and while I was out, I stopped by to visit with Power and his family for at least a brief minute. And while I was over there, I had asked previously whether this was possible to have done or not, but I got a Mandalorian figure. He is yet to be painted. I will have to do that myself. But Power's dad was gracious enough to print this out for me, and I will be adding him to my shelf of other stuff as well. So yeah, he's pretty neat. I really like him. I'm excited to get him painted and show him off as a finalized product as well. You're curious about Phantom Hourglass? Alright, so I guess we probably need to work our way to the ending a little bit more quickly. I was hoping at least to get the last couple pieces of hearts, because I need every tactical advantage I can get my hands on. Time to break out the chrome paints. I know, right? I am actually wearing my Mandalorian shirt today as well, so it was kind of a fitting occasion. It's in theory 8.5 inches tall. It's practically gigantic comparison to the amiibo it's next to. It really is. So if we're hold up Mando, here's Mando, and here's the Ganondorf. Not a small difference. Yeah, I have a lot of appreciation for Power and his father for printing that out for me. Just dip it in a bucket of red paint and you're good. Nah, it deserves a little bit more than that, don't you think, V? I mean, people went through the effort of actually making one for me. I should do something cool with it. Know what 8.5 inches looks like? Well, as a smith, I'm sure that you would. It's not in here. I'm trying to find my missing treasure chest. Because I remember I saw it on the way getting out of this place. Was it in this room? Maybe it was this one. Yoshi amiibo connect as Grogu. I actually don't. More than half of my amiibos are actually all Legend of Zelda. Maybe it wasn't down this way. Maybe it was through the other one. Just do things fast with accuracy. And that's the kind of skill that you teach, right? When you're doing your teaching business. Okay, where is it? But yeah, big thank you to Power and his family for making my Mando figurine for me. Beginning to think maybe I didn't really miss... Oh. No, I did. Okay. I think I know where it's at now. Never fail, get them in one shot. How do we get in there exactly? Yeah, I don't see a way in. Oh. I see. These were not here before. There it is. I'm not so much worried about the other chests in the area. The rest of them I don't really need, but I'll grab this one since I'm here. Sketch for the axe has yet to make any kind of progress because Kyo has been very fixed on getting ready for Pride. So I unfortunately do not have any sketch for the axe at this point. Hopefully before too much longer though, because I would really like to get my hands on that, and soon. My other little bit of exciting news, I've told a couple of you guys already, but my long-awaited, long-discussed PC build is a reality. I have a couple of pieces that are still in the mail on my way here, but 3 of my 5 components that I still needed to make the build happen are here. They're sitting in my kitchen at the moment. So I have my my new case, which is quite sizable, has plenty for airflow and options for customizing, which is awesome. I have a motherboard, I have a new processor, my RAM is in the mail, my power supply should be here fairly soon. and we're going to just be using the graphics card out of this computer, because the graphics card I put down in this, or that I have in this computer, is actually fairly good. It's not the best. It's not like top of the line or anything. It's not a 380. I don't remember what the abbreviation for it is. I want to say TI, but that makes me think of the the graphing calculators. But yeah, we have pretty much everything that we almost everything that we need in order to make it happen. So hopefully in the next couple of streams we'll be doing this from a stream that will not crap out. OBS that will no longer crap out on us, because that's getting old. That's getting very old. Hey, True Bunnycorns, how's it going? I had been actually ready a couple days earlier. I told you with the COVID stuff going on in the household. No worries. No, that's not a problem. I'm sorry I woke you up. I didn't mean to interrupt a good dream. Build PC stream. Paint a figurine stream. Not bad ideas. I'm not very confident in my painting abilities. I'm not much of an artist personally, but you know, it could be fun to stream building the PC. Greetings, Mr. Sarge. I've come to deliver a letter. There's a letter for you, Sarge. 2 letters, in fact. One of them's going to be that Star game wants me to play. I'm actually on my way to do that. So I don't feeling really well right now. I'm sorry to hear that. I'd have been more sad if I hadn't been able to see you. That's fair. No, I got to see my new nephew for the first time today. My sister's baby that she had back on the 20th. Is that the 21st? Yeah, it was on the 21st of May. He is just a little guy. He got released from the NICU on Monday. Doing really well. I could tell he was so hungry when when we got over there. They were trying to wait to feed him until a little bit later, but every time I'd put the binky in his, or towards his mouth, he just latch onto that and just like, he's just sucking like crazy. I'm like, you need to get this kid some food. Oh my gosh. And DLC wasn't really sure what to think of it. He hasn't really had a lot of experience around newborns. I think mostly at daycare he probably has, you know, but he's been around kids that are younger than him. I have seen some of the other parents bringing in kids that are younger, so I know he knows how to interact with kids that are littler than him, but I don't think that he's ever really seen a newborn before, so that was a little bit of an experience for him. But, you know, I kind of had a moment where remembering DLC being that size, because DLC was 6 weeks preemie. My nephew is 5 weeks preemie, so he, you know, a little bit of a difference there. My nephew is just a tad bigger than my son was when he was born, but still such a little guy. And when I picked him up, you know, I offered to give him his feeding, you know, and just one less thing that family had less to worry about. But, you know, that opportunity, I just kind of like having moments of remembering my son being that size, and that was something. And simultaneously watching my son run around my sister's house picking up the cat toys and finding all of them, bringing them to my sister to to show off. And my sister had pretty much an accumulation of about 8 or 9 cat toys that all showed up from my son gathering them all up for her. And then she just started throwing them one by one down the hall. Build PC simulator easy. Did I used to look like that? I'm not even sure if DLC would even know to think that, really, but it was quite precious. We did get a couple, we got a couple of pictures. I did get some pictures of DLC sitting next to next to my nephew. But, you know, they'll be good buds, but it's going to take some time. I am very excited for my sister, because this is her first kid, and should be a pretty exciting experience for her. She's already really adapting to being a mom really well, so thankfully things like depression don't really run in my family. It's one of those things that, you know, I sometimes have to catch myself a lot, because some of the thoughts that I have, like, I'll have moments where I'm down, where I might feel depressed, but I don't really have like depression or anything like that. And we don't have any history of that in my family. My sister didn't really go through postpartum depression at all either as a result. So, you know, and it seems kind of unfair, because a lot of other people have much harder experiences than we've had. But, I mean, well, even Kyo's postpartum was hard. That was incredibly difficult. But yeah, I'm glad that my sister is doing rather well and adjusting pretty much instantly to the new lifestyle. I'm gonna go get a refill on my blue potion, I think, and then after I grab that, we'll play the star game. I mean, we still have plenty of time, is the thing. I have another almost 3 hours worth of playtime tonight, so I may as well grab the rest of the pieces of heart. I am going the wrong way. We're gonna want this. Alright, True Benicorns. Thanks for hopping in. We'll chat with you later. Best of luck with your kiddo. Hopefully he gets better soon. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair power. I definitely understand not wanting to, you know, contribute your genetic problems onto another, you know, another individual. It can be a hard thing, but some people probably even look at it as being a selfish thing, that if you know you have severe mental health problems or other health issues, to still go through with doing a or going through and having a kid, you know, through the process of having your own kid. Do we not get another blue? That's unfortunate. La horse. Replenishes 8 hearts. Do I want that, or would I think I'd rather have a fairy, to be completely honest. Let's go get a fairy. That's a good idea. Because fairies also restore only 8 hearts. So if I had a choice between red chew jelly, which is essentially just a red potion, and being able to die and be brought back to life, I think I would rather have that. So we'll do that. Lub. I would also like to do the star game, because the star game has our quiver upgrade as well. That is also fair power. Yes, Metal King. Yes, she is. Yeah, she's currently over at some friend's house right now. Some friends in which she'll be meeting tomorrow, in fact. Okay. You should wear the shirt. It's a good-looking shirt. I'd wear that shirt, to be completely honest. I'd look good in it, too. Oh, you jerk. Oh. Man, that is some steep fall damage. 4 hearts. Good moly, that's bad. What exactly do you mean, Power? Is she not enjoying her, her subathon? Metal King, it's essentially just her 24-hour stream. There we go. Oh, wow. Yeah, you definitely need some food. Get some food. Yeah, in fact, anyone who has not yet eaten today or has eaten very little, go get food. Get full. Be it a snack or a good meal, order something in. Get you some food. Y'all deserve to eat. Oh, getting over it. She's doing... Oh, she's doing getting over it. Okay. By Bennett Foddy is an intensely difficult and frustrating game by the maker of QWOP. QWOP. I'm not sure... I probably know what game you're talking about, but I'm not processing the acronym for it. Or maybe I don't know what it is. Food is not underrated. I love food. Food is amazing. Oh, fine day. I awaited you, good sir. The Star game created with you in mind, good sir. It's a special arena that costs 15 rupees a shot. Dare you try it? I'll do it. Many thanks, good sir. The game will begin once you enter the cage. May chance favor you. Good sir, are you at the ready? Then away we go. Oh heck, I didn't even realize the floor is all spiked. Dangerous. Oof. Yellow. Blue. White. Red. Oh, shoot. Need to try again with that yellow one on the side there. Yellow. Blue. White. Red. Perfect. What in the... You did it. Oh, what a magnificent day this is. The debut of a superstar. Let huzzas and accolades ring forth. To the superstar I shall give this. You got the giant quiver. Can hold up to 100 arrows. Congratulations! Yes, well and truly, you've claimed what you sought, so you're likely all through, Many thanks for playing, good sir. Don't come again. Don't think I will. QWOP is a flash game that was named after its control scheme. Controlled the muscles in your legs and tried to get to the end of the track, but it didn't balance for you. Oh. Interesting, okay. Nope. I guess I don't know that game, but apparently Shiny Alley does. Okay, so I know where 3 more? 2 more. I think 2 more of my pieces of heart are at. Actually, I'm pretty sure my last 2 are in the castle. Pretty sure. Oh, shoot. This part I do not love. Long time since we meet, huh? Why, feeling better, huh? Nice weather for sleds. You try, huh? Race to home. No, I definitely have not played that. I'm sorry, this is nothing personal. I just have to get ahead of you. Oh yeah, wolf chain. The quick change on this game is a nice feature. I am all for quality of life changes to games when it comes to these HD variations. It's hard to rival the Swift Sail, but quick change on Wolf, it saves it. I think it adds up in seconds, really. How many times you'll be changing between forms in this game. It only adds up long term. That you can just tap a button that happens to conveniently be by your right thumb. Perfect. And boom. Ha 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 ha, you beat Yeto. You good, huh? You worthy sledder. You want to rematch. You go back to the top, huh? Well, now we have to face off against Yetta for the piece of heart. Unfortunately, you cannot warp in front of them. You literally have to go into their home and then wait for them to go back to the top of the mountain in order for you to warp back up to the top and try again. You just barely noticed that he wears a saddle as a hat? Yes, he does. Pretty interesting little detail. But I mean, I think I pretty much noticed that as soon as, I didn't notice it right away, but earlier on in the game, when you see him run into the room after you beat Blazetta, he's not wearing it in that cutscene, and so the lack of it is actually what drew the attention of it to me. And then that's when I realized that he wears a saddle on his head. They originally planned the Swift Sail for the original Wind Waker, but the GameCube couldn't load things fast enough for that. Sounds about right. I know that with Wind Waker they did a lot of they made a lot of the game decisions that they did, or for that particular game on GameCube. The reason why all the islands are so far apart actually has to do with the opportunity for the GameCube to load. So it's Wind Waker is a bigger game than all the games preceding it, but it is spaced apart strategically, which allows for it to load. So yeah, it's more or less segmented that way. So yeah, I guess I could see how the swift sail would cause a lot of strain for the GameCube. You beat husband, huh? You good. You raced me, huh? Yes. Good. Race to house, huh? Kind of looks like a Pringle. I could see that. Okay, I am sorry, Yetta. It's nothing personal. I just need to get ahead. And for the second time, I'm beating up on this poor girl. Whoops. Well, we're not winning this one. Okay, I'm gonna go for that cliff so that we can reload from the top. Yeah, I'm kind of a bully. Ugh, don't get used to doing that, though. Man, 4 hearts is just so steep. Yeah, we'll race again. Yes, the cliff that we fell off of is steep. And she managed to take out one of those keys. Man, we're only right in front of her. Just barely. Oh, snap. Figures. I do it flawlessly my first try. And now I'm gonna struggle. Okay. We got this. We're gonna do it. She got ahead of us. Yeah, it's true. It's like the moment that you start to feel pressure about something, that's when something becomes a lot more difficult than it was before. Perfect. Pretty sure we only beat her by about a second, though. You too good, huh? I overconfident, maybe. You slimmer than husband, maybe that's your secret. You're aerodynamic, huh? You take this as token of respect for sled skills, huh? Got us another piece of heart. And no-tell husband. You come back and race any time, huh? And no-tell husband. He's standing right there. He's... Silly Yetta. Okay, just saw you lose. Yeah, that. Okay, so now we can do... There's a puzzle up in North Hyrule Field. Oh, I think that's where some of my missing bugs are at, too, now that I think about it. I'm not entirely sure I'm interested in going for the rest of the bugs, though. I just want my pieces of heart. And as far as I know, I don't think that I'm missing really anything else. I think my last 2 pieces of heart are in the castle. I think. Don't quote me on it. Alright, where's my horse? Here we go. Perfect. Here we go. Yeah, this puzzle is not exactly my favorite, but it'll do. I'm pretty sure that's one of my missing bugs right there, actually. Let's grab him. Ow. Get bent, loser. Stag beetle. Yep, that was one of my missing ones. Who needs an ocarina? Just pick up some grass and away you go. I actually do have an ocarina, believe it or not. Ow. There we go. Not really trying to hunt down all these post souls, but it's one more in the bag, at the very least. Okay, and then we need to go up. Pretty much have not been through this area yet this game, I don't think. Oh, and I see my bug, too. Oh yeah, you know, I completely forgot that this is actually a shortcut to, I think it goes to, Zora's Domain. Alright, get down here. Let's see. Need a ball and chain here. Okay. And we have to go through 3 of these puzzles. I usually do pretty good at these ones, but as long as I can see the solution in my head, I usually can go through it pretty quickly. Need potatoes? I could go for a potato. Potatoes do sound pretty good. Oh, I see. Okay, so we have to kind of we're gonna have to use the one that I used for the first switch. For this part. There we go. And now let's see which way. Potatoes. Boil 'em, mash 'em, stick 'em in a stew. Yeah, you can do a lot of things with potatoes. Pretty universal. Let's see. I'm thinking... Don't think we should be going that way. Nope. Yes. I see it now. Okay. Oh, we can just do this. That would be easier. Let's do that. Alright, that's 2 down, and now we have 1 more. Okay, I think I know what I need to do with this one. It's been entirely too long since the last time I've seen Lord of the Rings. I need to watch that again soon. I think Kyo was actually wanting to do that as well. They absolutely are, Metal King. I'm sorry, when it comes to watching people play, I don't want to watch them try to figure out every way to solve the same puzzle. I'd just like to see how somebody would do it once, and be satisfied with the outcome. Cool. So, there's 2 more out of the way. Let's see, how many bugs are we missing out of... Anyway. Oh, we're missing 2. We're only missing 2 bugs. We may as well get the rest. Never satisfied. Frustrating puzzles. Has anyone here played Baldo? No, can't say that I have. Did play Nimpai's Adventure, though, if that counts for anything. We all get very tired of me talking about that one, though. I get tired. I'm annoyed at how much I talk about Nimpai's, but I literally can't get it out of my head. It's even been like a year and a half since we played it, and it's still a plague in my head. Okay. Heidi is starting to get frustrated. Well, I mean, when you play a frustrating game, that's what you're in for. It's actually part of the reason why I didn't do Elden Ring on stream. Despite being very, very excited about it, that was not something that I wanted to exhibit on... I didn't want my frustrated... I didn't want to be frustrated on stream, is what I'm trying to say, I guess. Like, oh, the female's in that house. It's not in the graveyard. That's right. Yeah, I didn't want to really be overly frustrated at my game on live play. Not to mention the fact that I was just too excited for that game anyway to be patient enough to wait between stream days. So, yeah, I took it upon myself to do that one on my own time. Iron wants to see. Now that I know what I'd be getting into, I'm not really opposed to the idea of playing either Elden Ring or Dark Souls on live stream. I think that could be a lot of fun. Somebody's setting off fireworks. Run New Game Plus with me. It's not a bad idea. Okay, let's find out where my last bug is. No offense, Sarge. When you get pissed off at a game, it's kind of funny. No, none taken. Golden-bodied pillbug was found near Kakariko Gorge. Okay, so the last one is going to be out this way. I figure with how close we are to getting out all the bugs, we may as well just finish it out. So, get all the bugs, and that way we can have more rupees to put towards the magic armor if I decide I need to fall back on it. That is also an option with this times 4 damage. I can use my magic armor to help offset the difficulty there as well. There you are. And that's the last of the bugs. Yeah, watching the compilation of people playing Elden Ring and doing rage quits is really hilarious. And what's all the more funny to me is watching people who I'm like, I can literally tell that they did it to themselves, but they don't know it. People who are like literally playing with no, like they didn't put any points into their vigor, so they have like no health. They get one hit killed by things, and I'm just like, yeah, you can't just expect that you're gonna be able to dodge roll away from everything. Like, yeah, it's a good skill to have to be able to know where your frames of invincibility are at, but you cannot expect that you will be able to dodge everything. Even Let Me Solo Her wouldn't be able to dodge everything that was thrown at him by Malenia. He'd get pretty close sometimes, but Joe gets so mad. That's good to know. It's good to have that heads up. Thank you. Now, I anticipate that we will probably go through Malenia a good number of times before... Well, she'll go through us a good number of times before we finally get her. Compare Baldo to Dark Souls game difficulty? Really? Interesting. 3 bugs left. Oh, which other mate don't you have? Stag. Oh, that's not the stag. This is just the regular beetle. All these rupees just going to waste. Because we couldn't wait to collect on all of them until after we get the wallet. Alright, last one. Give me the wallet! This means that all the bugs have made it to the ball safely. Hee hee hee. And everyone has a partner. They all look so happy. You worked very hard. Your efforts will forever be passed down in the Insect Kingdom, brave knight. Please accept this declaration of honorable citizenship and the memento that goes along with it. Ooh, yeah. Oh, it's only 2,000. I thought it would go up to 5. Did this game change? I feel like that changed. If you ever need to talk to bugs, you know where to go. Yeah, we're done here. We are absolutely done here. Give him to the hand that comes out. Oh dear. I'm gonna just double check because I have sneaking suspicion that I know where one of my hearts are at, but I need to ask her to be sure. Speak fates. Yes, tell me where... Really? Huh. Go to the spot that you've just seen and do something. Okay. Hate taxpayers sometimes. We all do, any of us that work at the IRS. This person reported they owed 1,000, paid only 400. Got a notice saying that they owed the remaining 600. They answered back with, I paid 400. What do you want from me? I'm about to send a letter saying the other 600. That's funny that they didn't see that notice. I think it's 5,000 on randomizer. I have not done a Twilight Princess randomizer. I don't think I would mind doing a Twilight Princess randomizer. I think I know enough about this game that I'd probably be okay, but I don't know if I want to challenge that. I guess time will tell. We might, in the future, decide to do that. Let's see, so we need to go to Ordon, then. Well, we have to wait for morning, and then we need to go to Ordon. So I guess we'll just walk there. Nope, we didn't do goats. I mean, we're only missing like 2 more pieces of heart too, is the crazy thing. I did that one already. We did that one a short time ago. I think morning is about to come soon. Oh hey, there is a Poe over there. Well, actually, now that I see dawn breaking on the horizon, I don't know if we're going to make it to that Poe quickly enough, but we can try. Come at me. Do it quickly. We don't have much time. Ow. There we go. Warm yourself by the fire, son. The morning will come soon. Is that from something? It sounds like it might be from Dark Souls. I've heard that statement, I think, in association with Dark Souls. No, when I was watching a playthrough of Dark Souls, I think I saw the enemy that you were talking about that's like right at the very beginning. Apparently you can go right around it. I don't know if you knew that, though. Prayer of a Refugee. Oh, really? Oh, and now that you say it, I can hear it. I guess I've just never processed it before. It's been a long time since I've listened to that group. Yep, that song. That's the one I was thinking. Let's heal up. Yep, it's almost morning here. This really is a pretty game. I like all the little textures on everything as well. What's interesting is that although the style for it is very different, some of the color palette that they use for Twilight Princess actually really resembles, or the color palette that they use in Elden Ring resembles a lot of Twilight Princess. Does time not move here? I feel like time doesn't move here. Better give it a minute before I venture into town. Make sure that the dawn actually comes. Like any second now, dude. Not entirely sure which areas cause for time movement and which ones don't. I'm like almost there though. There we go. Literally looked over just in time to see my bitrate just take a dump on me. There's rupees down in the house. We should go and collect those. Woo, bitrate. Yeah, not so fun. Exactly, Shiny Alley. Exactly. Just like that. Alright, I guess we're gonna play the corral game for these goats, even though it's first thing in the morning. Okay. Sarge, I heard. Sounds like everyone's over in Kakariko. And everyone in town who'd been all down in the mouth, they're all finally starting to feel their oats again. And it's all 'cause of you, bud. Thanks a ton. Well, hey there, Sarge. Brought up Ona, huh? Well, how's about it? Want to round up them goats for the first time in a dog's age? I bet these scamps are sure happy to see you. Great, I'll leave it to you two today. Man, it's just really bad tonight. I don't know what the score to beat is. I hope that it was about that. Ooh, way to ride, Sarge. You wrapped that up in just 1 minute. Thanks to you, I wrapped things up a mite earlier today. I'll say, first light. As promised, here's a little healthy gift for y'all. Good luck out there, bud. Nice. It's a good thing I was able to wrap up early today, thanks to you helping me out. Thanks a ton, Sarge. I've seen the Elden Ring enemy and item randomizer. I have not. I am not surprised that there is also a randomizer now for Elden Ring. That'd be just the kind of stupid stuff that people make. Okay, and I think my last piece of heart is in the castle, I think. I'll double check with the fortune teller, because if she doesn't have anywhere to show me, then that means for sure that it is in the castle. If it's somewhere that I've seen, then we'll know. But yeah, if I'm gonna have to fight Ganondorf with ×4 damage, I'm using everything. I'm pulling all the stops. Whoops. I mean, the thing about randomizers is that it gives you grounds to either be completely screwed or it can be very generous in what it gives you. But I think the thing with Elden Ring is that if you get a very nice weapon early on, there's no guarantee that you'll be able to use it right away. Alright, fortune teller lady. You tell me if there's anywhere else I need to look first. Feck. I was really hoping it wouldn't be there. You just cool it? Oh my gosh. That's not even my bitrate that's having that issue. That's OBS straight up. It's just my PC being a butt. I am so glad, so very glad that very soon, it's getting replaced. Got Melinia as the boss where Loretta's spirit usually is. Oof. That would not be fun. That would suck so bad. I'm pretty sure I'd say, well, I quit. Oh man, that would suck so bad. Hopefully we don't run out of lantern oil in here. This is where it's at, right? Nope. And of course I'm in the wrong spot. Yeah, the theme of this game is literally always in the wrong spot. Actually, we're gonna want one other thing before we delve too far into that too. Should change his name to Lola, because he's an Irish pug, but most importantly, he can't fecking run. He cannot. Yeah, we might need an extra thing of oil, now that I think about it. Digging in the wrong place. Yeah, so let's go see our bird friend in the forest. Think so? I mean, I've gone through there with a full lantern and come out without, so... And in any case, I'll probably still need more oil again after that anyway. Because the castle's gonna require some as well. Alright. Goodbye, fairy. Welcome. Hey, buy something. Anything. 20 rupees for lantern oil. You got it. I'm gonna get a 5-finger discount? Nope. I'll pay it in full. With some tip. Okay, let's see. And now we'll... I'm pretty sure this bird doesn't mind if I turn into a wolf right in front of him. No, not at all. It's really just the people that have the problem with it. I think it's actually up this way, isn't it? There it is. So I busted this open earlier and then decided I didn't want to deal with it before. But looks like now we're going to get to deal with it. And then we'll go delve the castle. Oh, thanks for that iron. I guess we better do that now then, before we venture too far into this. Talking very directly to Cassie about my stuff. She's actually extremely accepting about it all. I message Yvette every once in a while. She said, she's like, if you're friends, you're friends. I'm with my ex and we talk on occasion. Well, that's good to hear. Alright, so Ganondorf amiibo is being disabled. Okay, so that can be re-enabled again in 10 minutes time. So at 11:17. So nobody used the Ganondorf amiibo until 11:17 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, so 10 minutes from now. This is the cave of many ordeals, a cave of stepping stones. Something like that. I don't like this cave. It's got more turns than I care for. Oh, hey. There's a yellow chew in here. Now, it looks pretty dark on your guys' side. I can actually still see it pretty well. Brightness on my game is quite a bit more than what's actually being displayed on OBS. So that's actually not too bad. Spent money just to find something that you would give you for free. What a loser. I mean, hey, man. Oh, turned out the lights. Aziz, more lights. Oh, plenty of arrows down here, too. No, it's funny. I've got 7 Link amiibos, and we've only ever used 2 the entire game. I just never seem to need arrow replenishes, hardly at all. I'm currently sitting on 100 as it is. I think I've seen Fifth Element like once. It was a while ago too. Where have I heard that line? Oop. Refill. Personally, I didn't particularly care for Fifth Element. I thought it was a little too strange for me, I think. Which is saying something, because I can get into some really weird films, but I don't know. Kyo really wanted to watch it once, after I made her I made her take back her words about Star Wars. She used to say that she didn't particularly care for the Star Wars movies because they were really lame, which in her defense, you know, some of them kind of are. But I still love all Star Wars all the same, and I was determined to find a Star Wars movie that she was actually really into. But that came by way of agreeing to watch Fifth Element with her. And so I watched Fifth Element, and I was just kind of disappointed with it, because she was all like, oh, this is such a great film. And I just was not enchanted with it. I just thought it was kind of lame. Can't stand Mila Jovovovovovich. I don't think she can act. Obi-Wan is pretty cool. Been really enjoying Obi-Wan. Now, you see, the thing is that when it comes to Star Wars, I'm pretty much everything short of reading the books. I would read the books if I had any amount of enjoyment for reading, but I don't. I've got a couple of books that I have read, but not many. Not like King. I'll thumb through comic books periodically, but even that I'm not like huge on. But anytime there's a new show, I'm all over it. Clone Wars animated series, amazing. Star Wars Rebels, amazing. I actually have yet to watch Resistance all the way through. I had a hard time getting into that one. But yeah, Mandalorian, right as it came out, that one I had to. There was like no choice in the matter, I had to. Book of Boba Fett as well. Boba Fett is my #1 favorite. I would probably be more inclined to listen to audiobooks if I felt like I had really the time for it. The thing is that in order to do audiobooks, I almost feel like they require as much attention from me as sitting down to actually read something. And so the best time to do that would be while I'm at work, but sometimes, depending on what program I'm working at work, it's not always, it's not easy to concentrate on a book and my job at the same time. And of course I have to pick my job over what I'm reading. So I would like to do more audiobooks, but I just don't feel like I have the time to put into them. Watched all movies in Mando. Dude, Clone Wars is great. Don't let the animated style fool you. I mean, yeah, the first couple of episodes of it are a little bit on the juvenile side, and the first couple of seasons are actually out of their airing date, so some of it is a little disjointed. But once you get into, like, about season... Well, it really doesn't take long to get hooked on it. There's a couple of story arcs that are kind of meh, but overall, it tells an amazing story. You get really attached to those clones. But yeah, Obi-Wan is great. I was a little upset with Book of Boba Fett because I really wish that they had actually made it about Boba Fett and not made it a Mandalorian 2.5. That just kind of made me mad. Resistance second season is better, but it's not the greatest animated series. Nah, not really. Almost done with Star Wars because they keep promoting crap and throwing actually good stuff to the wayside. Like, what do you mean? How so? I think we're almost there. Yeah, here we are. Okay. Yeah, I think I've seen about 2 episodes of Resistance as well. Oh, see? Yeah, I would have gotten another one in here. Up to 166 in Elden Ring. Very nice. Hey, you're not too far behind me now. Got Sideline in his own series just so he would get more Mando. Yeah, that pissed me off. I mean, I'll never quit Star Wars because there's content that I do like. So if it ever gets to a point where it's like I just can't stand new content, then I won't watch the new content and I'll just enjoy what I have. But yeah, there is absolutely no reason why Boba Fett should have been sidelined in his own little mini-series. That didn't make any sense to me at all. And it wasn't even for, like, just an episode, either. It was, like, there's this whole, what, 3 episodes where Boba Fett's, like, barely even in it. Even though it's, like, the Book of Boba Fett. The month leading up to May 4th, I watched all the canon TV movie content in timeline order. It was an epic watch binge. That's amazing. I am redoing that right now too, but I go a step further, and aside from just like TV series and everything as well, so I'll do the video games as well. There we go. Piece of heart. That is my maximum. All 20 heart containers. Guess it's time to go and finish this game. Okay, time to save. But yeah, that is a great coincidence that you managed to end on May 4th. It's pretty great. Everything is there, can't please everybody, and the harder you try, the more you please no one. There are parts of the current canon I don't like, and there are parts of the legends that I love. Nobody ever said you have to like every single story there is in a series, especially when it's huge as Star Wars. That's very true. No, there's some parts of the series that I'm also not a particular fan of. Overall, I still definitely enjoy it. The fandom menace. I think every single episode should be enjoyed by every single person. No, that will never happen. Okay. Now that we've effectively killed an extra hour of my session time. Fandom menace. I like that. I think I'm going to use that from now on. Oh, Midna, you got huge. And real scary. Jeez. Well, that's one way to do it. like the Inquisitors just fine in Obi-Wan. Yeah, Luke is incredibly whiny. It's part of the reason why Kyo has such a difficult time getting into the series, or into the original trilogy. Took getting her into Clone Wars. Clone Wars really sucked her in. Tying together the prequels that she knew growing up, and then, you know, kind of working her way in from there. She has a better appreciation for the originals, but she still really doesn't care for them. Not nearly as much as she likes the Clone Wars, Rebels, pretty much anything that's not one of the movies. Got us some bokoblins. Like father, like son. In the case of the prequels, they definitely had to try to write in things that were about Luke into Anakin's character in order to really fit that, like, father, like son. When one of them is reading, they're called bokoblins. Nice. Now we're about to have a showdown with King Bulbin. Certain point of view. Huh. That was a good way of putting it. Hello. I have come to play. Hoi. Oh, blocked. Whoa. Oh! So that gives me a better idea of how much damage he did to me on that last clip. Or in that clip of him from when he hit me before. $6.5 hearts. So when he hits you with ×4 damage, one hit from him does a total of 13 hearts of damage. Oh boy. Yeah, I didn't have any idea how much he did to me last time. Because when he hit me, it just instantly took my fairy, even though I was at max life. Good to know. 13 hearts of damage on times 4 damage. Enough. Got a small key. Woohoo! Hasn't he learned his lesson enough by now? I know, right? I follow the strongest side. That is all I have ever known. Sarge, he spoke. Yes. Astute observation, Midna. Just learned his lesson enough. Now, we could skip the graveyard altogether, but that's not nearly as much fun, because there is another key that we can pick up, and having that additional key is actually kind of nice. So, yeah, we're gonna go get that too. Now, having the additional key is what helps to unlock that special room at the very end of the dungeon. The final lesson, exactly. Okay, I've been attempting to murder someone who can talk. Are you surprised? Apparently she is. She is quite surprised. Oh dear. I just about threw myself into that force field. That would not have felt good at all. Ba-wop. Oh, you want to go, do you? Okay, here you go. There we are. Oh, we're turning the Ganondorf amiibo back on. Alrighty. Well, at the very least, I didn't have to go through King Bull with that turned on, because that would have sucked. Alright. Ganondorf amiibo is back on. Thank you, Iron. Dismount! There's more self-defense since King Bulblin initiated it every time. That's quite true. In a way, it is kind of his own fault. Oop, wrong button. 2, 3, 4. Go to town. Shiny Alley, are you going to be picking up where you left off with your full franchise playthrough? Because I know you were some fair distance into that yourself as well. keeping me on my toes. That's fair. I don't mind. It's like I've previously said, if I didn't want to have this kind of a challenge in this, I would not have opted for the amiibos to be viewer-controlled. And a banging 2 empty coconut halves together, she rides on your back. That would have been pretty funny. Okay, there's a place to dig right here. Would have been pretty funny, though. I'll be doing so once I've completed the Ocarina of Time Master Quest Permadeath. I'll be resuming that in July. Alright, so you're on a bit of a timetable then for that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, sometimes you gotta take some time away from stuff. It's important to have your breaks from, you know, for whatever reason. Sometimes life gets busy, other times you just need to be away from it all for a minute. Settling back in. That's fair. Yeah, depending on how well my computer decides to handle for Phantom Hourglass, there's a possibility that I might have to put Zelda on a back burner long enough to get through building my new PC. But I mean, all of my parts are either here or on the way, so shouldn't be too long, thankfully. Okay, I'm pretty sure that this unlocks after beating all of the enemies, right? Or do I have to press a switch? I had a feeling like I have to... I don't think that stays down though, does it? Oh, it does. Cool. No, Phantom Hourglass, I don't have it Virtual Console. I have a physical copy of it on the DS. But I'm going to be using an emulator for it. But this computer is wonderful and is looking to give out on me fairly soon. This computer, I've had it almost 10 years now. Hey, I found Greg! I almost forgot that there was a Greg in this game. Oh look, an oil vat, I know. It's as if I wasted my, my money for that bird when I gave him my money. So that I could have more oil that I don't need. Sometimes what I remember about this game is, not always correct, okay? Now, there is actually a creepy thing in this graveyard. I don't know how many people know about it, but one of the ways you're supposed to solve this area is actually using the directions of the dead. They aren't actually... You know, you can't talk to them at all, but before you blow up that boulder, they all stand here and point to the switch that you need in order to make progress with this puzzle. Question. If you steal from the bird so he flips out, are you effectively flipping the bird? That's an excellent question. I'd say so, yeah. Counts in my book. Alright, and there's our other small key. You've gotten everything you need out here. Now get in the castle through the front door. Telling me where to go, Midna? I'm pretty sure I know where to go. Now where do I go? Hello? I don't think that's where we're supposed to dig. Or maybe it is. Oh, there we go. Yep, so as it stands right now, we're about to enter into the castle. All 20 hearts, 13 and a half of them are good. I still have not had any redeems for the Zelda or Sheik amiibos to this point. So I still have all 3 of those. I also have 1 fairy and 2 potions. And some oil that I thought I was going to need, that apparently I don't. The amiibos, so Ganondorf enables or disables times 4 damage. My base damage in hero mode is times 2. So with the Ganondorf amiibo off, I take times 2 damage. With it turned on, I take times 4. The Zelda Sheik amiibos, they give me a full replenish on all of my hearts. And the Link amiibos are full replenish on all arrows. But, you know, I really haven't had much issue with my arrows. That's more of a convenience, just a fun little thing that's pretty cheap for people to give to me as just a means of like, hey, I want to spend my points on something. But I have a total of 3 Zelda/Sheik amiibos. Oh, shoot. Arrows and hearts, I can see why those haven't been used. Well, I mean, they're there for people to provide any assistance if they would like to. Not everybody is out to make my game as difficult as possible. We have used the Zelda amiibos quite a bit, to be fair. I don't have a lot of redeems. The ones I've had the least amount of redeems for has been the Link amiibos. But I don't really need arrows too often. It's just a small contribution. The thing is, I can find arrows in this game, but I can't find recovery hearts. So viewers kind of go between wanting to wreck me and wanting to help me, depending on how they're feeling. Some men just want to watch Sarge's world burn. Precisely. I like to think I'm kind-hearted as for kindly giving hearts. That's another matter entirely. Hey, that's fair. I'm not asking for anyone to do anything. I'm just saying that the option is there depending on what you'd like to see. Okay. Oh! I just took a hit there. Surprisingly, the Dark Nuts don't actually do nearly as much damage as you'd think they should. They just split his helm. Aw, Iron, that is an awesome emote. See, this is why I say I'm really only partially at the mercy of my viewers, because in actuality, I've been very diligent about carrying enough healing items that I can take the dungeons regardless of whether people want to be helpful or not. And we've pretty much played at least half of this, more than half of this game with the Ganondorf amiibo on. It's been used almost every stream, except for the first one, in which we couldn't use it until after getting through the first dungeon. Yeah, the amiibo support doesn't even activate until after that first dungeon. Yeah, it does look like Alexander. It's pretty cool. Oh, dang it. Up we go. Thought Alexander was a giant bell. Nope. You haven't played Elden Ring. Okay, one of these will lead to a puzzle, and the other one leads to 2 Dark Nuts. Not sure which one goes to which. I guess we're about to find out. This one goes to the 2 Dark Nuts. Step out of the way. There's actually a couple switches. That one will unlock the door, I think. Nope. That one just gave me a chew bath. That one's the door. Dark nuts don't do as much damage as they should. What happened? Did their nuts drop off? I think I missed some. Alexander Graham Bell. Alexander looks like a giant bell. Your joke was... Oh yeah, the summon Alexander. Actually, he's more of a wall than a bell. Oh, okay. Hey, look! More oil. Because I was so concerned I wouldn't have oil. Okay. This is one of those magical moments where I'm gonna take my, take advantage of the fact that I have magic armor. So that if I get totally wrecked by these punks, at least I'll pay for it in rupees and not in health. Ugh. Yep, like that. Oof. It's getting costly fast. Gosh. Nope, it's not cheating. It's in the game. It's perfectly legal. It's like I said, I've been using everything in my arsenal with this playthrough. I have to. I have to use everything in my arsenal, or we would never get through this. If it exists in the game, it's not cheating. Okay. I think we're good here. Nah, it's all good. And when there's two of them like that, it tends to get just a little bit more difficult than it normally is. I do have a my highlight video on my channel is actually of me taking those same two Dark Nuts. The last time I played it through, and I don't think I took any damage against them at all. Hey, Kyo. Oh, I see. Alright, let's see them. Well, those are pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. You have a good time?
Yeah. I need to play Dead by Daylight now.
Why?
With Broken Alex.
Yeah, go for it. Knock yourself out. It's not a me game.
No, I know. I'm gonna try and go get tired.
Okay.
Because I need to sleep so I can get up in the morning.
That's a good plan. You had people saying hello to you. Yep, that's my lovely wife. This scene is actually kind of cool. I'm actually really wish that they had left me to take this by myself, because that would have been perfect. I was so ready to mortal draw them, they'd have all been dead in a second. Wahoo, our friends showed up. One of the very few instances where it shows that Link is not alone in his fight. Okay. There's a quick thing that needs to happen here, guys. If I can find my tabs. Oh, don't mind me, I'm just gonna kill my computer by trying to multitask. Okay. In case anybody is wondering what I'm doing, I have just removed the Ganondorf Enable and Disable. It's going to stay on through the remainder of this game, because I'm not saving and exiting from this point just to come all the way back. I don't have a fast travel back in. And by this point, it's all or nothing. The Zelda and Link amiibos will remain active.
I'm just gonna hang out.
Huh?
I'm just gonna hang out. I'm not tired.
Oh, you're hanging out?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Okay. I guess Kyo is hanging out with us.
I'm not tired. This is a problem, but I don't want to do it. Come on.
Hi. So, we're locked in on the Ganondorf amiibo. I've just disabled it because I'm not going to save and exit to come all the way back this far.
Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, well. I can't hear nothing.
Well, yeah, we got to plug you in.
Oh!
You can unplug that receiver and plug that in. She'll still be tired tomorrow.
Hi!
That's kind of Kyo's superpower, is that she's always tired except for when she needs to go to bed.
Yeah! And I can sleep anywhere except in bed.
Yep. It's true. You are indeed. There's still enough here that I should be all right. I'm not worried.
I'm in a weird mood.
Yep. You made him doomed. Come on, punk.
I do not remember that thing.
It was the mini-boss of the Sky Dungeon. Oh, you jerk.
Ah!
He wasn't supposed to catch there. He was supposed to come all the way down.
But he didn't! Dude!
Damn it. Come on.
What are you doing? Sean!
What?
I mean...
Why are you using my first name on stream? Don't do that.
Sarge!
What?
The door is closed.
Well then, reopen it.
What? I can't do that. Jasmine's just like, ugh.
Way to go. Alrighty. I think this is...
You got a
right,
key.
there's another key. Well, we're about to use a key anyway. No, I intentionally went after the both keys, the one in the graveyard, so that we get the locked door at the very end. Sounds good. Shiny Alley will be right here.
I heard charge. Charge. Like if Sean Connery
Oh, shoot.
said charge.
Charge.
Charge. My favorite movie with Sean Connery is Dragonheart. And then League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. And I watched Red October, but I was like, it wasn't my thing.
Oh, okay.
You don't fall! You're supposed to jump.
Oh.
What are you doing?
Transforming so it becomes easier to jump.
I see. It's easier to jump as a person than it is as a wolf.
Yes.
That doesn't sound right.
It's the dimension of his figure, between 4 legs and 2. It changes where his range.
But
if he's standing on a narrow platform, then having 2 legs is much more useful than standing on it with 4 because his model falls off.
But animals are better at jumping than people.
That's all fine and good. They can be as good as they want to be at jumping. It's all fine and good.
Indiana Jones 3. See, I've only seen Indiana Jones 3 like twice because
Really?
for the longest time I was like, there's 2 Indiana Jones movies, and then that one with the crystal skull that we don't talk about.
If we don't talk about it, don't bring it up.
So yeah, for the longest time I didn't know that there was a 3rd Indiana Jones movie. I was like, I've seen it now, and in fact the only time I've watched it is with Sarge.
I did that wrong.
You died.
Have you been watching with her? Hey, I'm a gamer. I game before I watch things.
We don't talk about Indy. Name the dog Indiana.
Yikes.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that was my fairy.
Ah! But yeah, by the way, I'm really bad at Dead by Daylight. I was playing the killer, and every time I saw somebody, I was just like, and they were like, bro.
Yeah, just chill out.
And I was playing as this rabbit ear lady, and she's like, la 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 la.
Nope.
Can't remember her names, but Short Round was one of their cats. Really? Huh. I don't remember that.
Alright, punk. Yeah?
Hi. After stream, I have to tell you a funny story.
Oh.
But I think it might be just a tad inappropriate for stream.
I'm gonna get all the rupees in here.
Yeah.
It's pretty much what most of this is. There's some miscellaneous supplies as well.
Short Round was named after the dog, the movie's writer. Oh, okay. For years I've argued that the first 3 Indiana Jones movies are on the same quality level as Crystal Skull, as in they're all just dumb popcorn movies.
But I like some of those dumb popcorn movies.
Yeah.
I love how it gives us seeds at the very end of the game. We haven't needed seeds since the very beginning of the game.
Hey, you know what? Growing up, I was a Mummy girl, okay? We didn't watch Indiana Jones. We watched The Mummy.
Alright. Got us a fairy.
And I was all like, and then I saw Indiana Jones, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's like they ripped off The Mummy.
Other way around.
Just like how I was like, oh hey, like Ocarina of Time is just like a copy of Majora's Mask.
Yeah, you got it backwards. Yeah, this is where it's gonna give us...
What the heck is that? It's a
Bomblings.
bug!
They're bug bombs.
Why?
The most useless item in the game.
Why? There's a time and place for popcorn movies. Just that Crystal Skull isn't any worse than the other Indiana Jones movies.
Yeah.
That is a matter of opinion.
Now, I wonder... This probably isn't going to work out in my favor.
But the mummy is better.
I'm gonna doubt that the fairy came back for me to fill up the other bottle with. Say I doubt it. Oh, hey! How about that?
And the mummy is better for 2 reasons. Brandon and Fraser.
Okay, so I'm gonna just ask this. Does anybody want to heal me with a Zelda amiibo? Because if not, I'm just gonna come in here and grab more fairies until I'm at full health. That is on you guys. Do you want to save me the trouble, or am I coming back for more?
Better! See, yeah, that's what I said. I mean, the girl who plays Eevee isn't bad either. But they change her in
I guess the answer is I'm healing myself.
the 3rd one. We just totally ignored Sarge.
That's what happens when you show up. It's
I'm
no
sorry,
longer
guys.
my stream.
I'm sorry.
This is a Kyo takeover.
I was playing Dead by Daylight on Alex's computer, and he's like, "You'd be great at streaming." I'm like, "Why?" Because I.
That's exactly why. But you previously said that you're not really. It's not really your thing.
I get stage fright, and like schedule thing is like, yeah.
For the record, the schedule only exists for you.
No, but you do have a better following if you have a regular schedule.
This is true.
That's because my mind was distracted by Brendan Fraser. Yeah, we were thinking about other things.
That's great and all good. We're about to do the cutscenes. The good cutscenes.
Things like
the ending. We're here for the ending,
things
babe.
like,
Hey, if you're here for the ending, you're in it for the ending, not for your random wild energy, all right? Okay, do the most spastic thing you're gonna do.
No!
Do it.
I
Just
can't do
spaz
it.
out
I can't
right now.
do it now!
Spaz out right now.
You think I have control over it?
Yeah, just
No.
get it all out right
well,
now.
now I'm not doing it.
Okay. So, as I understand it, I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna do this fight, and you're gonna be completely chill the whole way through, right? She makes no promises.
Oh, oops. Church of the Jungle, my favorite movie as a kid. Jungle was definitely hot because of him. George.
For the record, Iron, you don't have to be good at games to stream.
I'm
really
bad at
don't.
games, and I did.
Okay, pretty cutscenes.
Boobs.
Why did I let you down here?
Because I'm your wife.
Oh, okay. Welcome to my castle. Keo likes the Mandalorian. The little...
Oh yeah.
It's right
yeah,
there.
it's cool.
Mm-hmm. So, you're Ganondorf. Boobs are good. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Smirk.
Mm-hmm. I've been dying to meet you. Your people have long amused me, Midna, to defy the gods with such petty magic only to be cast aside. How very pathetic.
Oh, the stream is just here.
Pathetic as they were, though, they served
Boobs.
me well. Their anguish was my nourishment.
There were boobs.
Hello, Halo. Okay, how's it going?
They
Are
were
you
statue
probably just
boobs,
getting ready
but
to...
they were boobs and they were there.
Oh, yes, they are. How's your evening going? Their hatred bled across the void and awakened me. I drew deep of it and grew strong again.
Do you think if you pulled out his ringlets, how long do you think his hair would be?
Pretty long.
Doing!
Your people had some skill, to be sure, but they lacked true power. The kind of absolute power that those chosen by the gods wield. He who wields such power would make a suitable king for this world, don't you think? You're at work until
You're
2.
on 2. Boo.
Huh, such conceit.
You'll be doing that overtime?
But if you are the one of the chosen wielders of power as you claim, I will risk everything to deny you. Shadow has been moved by light, it seems.
Those are impressive eyebrows, my dude.
Mm-hmm. How amusing.
Oh, we got the night crew.
Yep. Very well. Deny me then.
Say
Yes.
bye, Kara.
Try to deny me. You and your little friend.
Boobs. Oh dear.
Thank you for
Oh
the clip,
dear.
Mel.
See, I get you clips.
I get clips.
Oh dear, things about to get freaky.
Yep.
Oh, Midna. Wah! Boobs.
Okay.
Oh, she sounds like him. So weird.
Well, she is possessed by him. He's literally inside her body.
Okay.
Yep. Both of you, faithless fools who would dare to take up arms against the King of Light and Shadow. So you choose, and so you shall feel my wrath. Whoa, 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 what is happening?
Oh no! What just happened? Okay.
It was not responding to my input at all.
Oh dear.
That was weird.
Sure, every gamer blames the controller.
Well, when you're trying to move and it's not doing anything at all, it is the controller.
Everybody who played Ocarina of Time is like, oh, I got this, bro.
And Wind Waker.
And Wind Waker.
And A Link to the Past.
Anybody who's ever fought Ganondorf before is like, I got this, man.
Alright, we don't have to follow that up.
He's literally inside of Zelda, and we're watching it.
Sure are. I love how Kyo shows up and suddenly everybody gets inappropriate.
Yeah! I mean, what? I'm innocent.
Whatever.
I really want to tell you that story. Boobs in the background. Lies! I've always been inappropriate! Come back! Welcome back, welcome back. Ah!
Right, we don't have to do anything with that. Thanks, Shiny. Welcome back. Doing good so far.
Guess I'm not a true gamer. No, I don't have skills.
I don't have skills. What are you talking about? This ain't skill.
This is practice.
Yeah, this is just a practice run, guys. There's nothing riding on this. Nothing at all.
Oh, I just mean you've done this a few times.
Yeah, a couple.
In many different forms.
Oh shit. That one almost got me.
I got so many skills that the game doesn't even recognize them.
Yep.
Nice.
Let's do it. There we go.
It doesn't register. I'm so good. Oh, what just happened? You got hit. What the?
Yeah?
Get good, scrub.
Oh, okay.
I love you.
Love you too.
Well, I think I've beat like 15 games of my life and like 10 were Pokemon. Yoshi.
Welcome back,
good,
V.
scrub. It's a midnight.
Yeah.
Her mouth is green.
Yep. Now she's about to get squeezed.
She's about to put the squeeze on her.
Yep. Just squeezed Ganon out. See? She's fine.
Okay. Why you guys say things so weirdly?
Best O-face of the Zelda franchise.
Link, why are your hands shaking?
Me?
He was like,
Oh,
the sword was shaking. I like this song.
She'll walk it off. Let's go.
Right, like Zelda should be in like way worse condition.
She's fine.
She's fine.
Oh, wow. Like, my legs are like right up against that barrier.
Yeah.
That would not have been good. I think that there's a fairy in at least one of them, but I don't know where. Not that we need it.
Here he comes, here he comes, here he comes. Where did he go? Where did he go? Where did he go? There he is! Stop! In the name of love!
You can be a big pig, too.
You can be a big pig, too! Oi! Wow!
Wow!
Are you aching? For some bacon! He's a big pig!
I could go for
You
some
can be a big pig, too! Oi! Hi.
Come at me.
I'll be here all night.
Oh!
He did come at you.
Didn't register my button press.
Uh-huh.
Didn't. There it is. Oh! And that one was my fault. I'll take responsibility for that one.
Stop!
There we go. Why would you like Piggy Pig better? That's redundant.
It's ridiculous, repetitive enough to sound Disney. Yeah.
Where are you at? I hear you.
There he is. Get him! Personally, I always thought that this form was easier than Puppet Zelda.
It's not a bad one. Oh, don't worry, V. We'll take more damage. Before this night's over, we will take more damage. Where'd it go?
How many times do you have to get him?
I think one more.
No, but Zelda is usually 3.
Not with final bosses.
Oh. I see.
3's pretty typical for a lot of things in the Zelda franchise, but when it comes to end bosses, all bets are off.
Is that's not his final form?
No. What, you think we're done?
No.
No.
Nah.
Nah. Getting mighty stinky.
Yeah. Oh, she's all glowy, sparkly.
Mm-hmm.
Is she dying?
Yes. This is death. This is how death works.
She's a Jedi!
Ouch.
Sorry.
Man, that made my ear hurt through my headphone.
I'm sorry.
Princess, I... Say nothing, Midna. Your heart and mine were as one, however briefly. Such suffering you have endured.
Oh. Scream louder. Oh.
She doesn't need encouragement.
No, wait, no, booty.
Really?
Huh?
Okay.
Big old monster.
Hey.
The world hear your voice. Stab it, D.
I'd like to know how she missed.
What? She missed it? Spoilers! Okay, ruined!
Yep.
You just ruined the whole game.
Oh my gosh.
Ah!
What a nice castle. It's just a shame it didn't last.
Kablooey.
Sorry, Zelda, your castle just got leveled.
Yeah, like...
Well, that's not good.
You ever wonder what his horse's name is? Why are you spoiling? Oh. Hey, he's got a lightsaber?
Yes.
She was just the castle? No, they don't. What?
Spirits of the light, wielders of the great power that shines far and wide upon the lands of our world. In my hour of need, grant me the light to banish evil.
Dude, you can teleport this whole time and you didn't tell me?
Mm-hmm. Don't you know, when you're a princess, you get magical abilities. That include teleportation, apparently.
Hey, Princess Leia never did any of that. I mean, she did fly through space.
Yeah, that hyperspace stuff, it's pretty close.
Okay. You get 3 shots.
That's all?
That's it.
Okay. I guess it's a good thing I'm not the one firing the bow here.
Oh, she gets 3 shots.
Sarge, chosen hero, lend us the last of your power.
So what exactly is that ornamental piece on her chest attached to?
Why are you keep looking at the chests in this game?
But no, there's no chain or anything connected to the dress. It's just kind of like pasted under her chest.
Yes.
Okay.
What is your next question? And does it involve boobs?
No. What's Ganondorf's
I'll try to slow Ganondorf
first
with
name?
my light arrows. You target him and keep him
Why
within
not look at the
range of my
chest?
arrows.
That's what I'm saying. Zelda, I hate to break it to you, but a lady rides side saddle.
To answer your question, I don't know.
Sounds be sus.
How'd you miss?
Why do you keep missing? She's not a lady. She's a princess. Oh, okay.
I hate these stupid ghosts. They
Well, they
drive me
probably
insane.
don't really like you either.
Nope, probably not.
Do you think Zelda's model even actually has legs right now?
Yes.
Oh, hey, cool. No, those are Link's legs.
Nope.
Those are Link's legs. No, wait, never mind. You're
Try
right.
again.
You're right, you're right, you're right. She's wearing pants. Or tights.
Would you please?
Whoa!
I hate this boss.
Hey, Sean. You
Stop.
You're supposed to stay on the horse.
Use my IRL name again.
Ah!
You need to slow down a little.
Sarge! Sarge!
Thank you so much for the Zelda amiibo.
Yeah, so we don't die.
We're gonna die anyway.
We're gonna die anyway. So optimistic.
Yep.
So maybe this Zelda was Merida before.
Fire that a little faster and then not.
Long hair,
Yep.
turned her tight dress into a loose one, shoots a bow, rides a horse. Just saying. Yeah, well, if she's supposed to be Merida, she's a very sad excuse for a marksman.
Okay.
Why does she suck at shooting things if she's supposed to? That's a lot of S's.
Hit him again. Thank you.
Let him die.
And again.
Shoot at him.
Don't miss. Thank you. Gosh. But she does change her fate.
True. I don't know. I've never liked Zelda, like, in any form.
V, we weren't gonna die anyway. I have 2 fairies and 2 potions, so...
Hey, look, I wonder where you're supposed to hit him.
Oh, yeah, I wonder.
I just really wanna,
An
I just wanna
impressive-looking
uncurl
blade.
his hair and just...
But
Boing.
nothing more. Would you hear my desire to take this foul blade and use it to blot out the light forever?
Dude, is it kind of weird that he wields the same sword that he was, like, killed with?
No.
No?
Is it weird that Batman his greatest fear is bats and he dresses up as a bat?
I don't know, that's kind of weird, man. Guy dressing up as... Full-grown man dressing up as a bat? That's weird. Says the woman who's dressed up as Link, Keith from Voltron, Sheik, Ed from Fullmetal Alchemist. What else? Alice from Alice in Wonderland. What? Madness Returns. Hey, look! Ah!
You like my fishing rod? You want to see my rod?
Yeah, he likes your rod. Your rod is very distracting.
I mean, if you were supposed to be engaged
Fighting
in
somebody
combat,
and all of a sudden your opponent's just like, hey!
that would be rather
That would be
distracting.
very distracting.
Oh. 2 hearts? That's all you got? This is times 4 damage and all you could do was 2 hearts?
Little small. I mean, it's long, it's just skinny.
Oh, again? Okay. I think this is going quite well.
I don't know, man. It looked kind of flexible to me. You dummy. Ouch.
Imagine getting stabbed once again through the same spot where you've been previously stabbed and weakened.
Ouch.
That'd hurt.
Yes.
This boss is easier than probably all the mini-bosses. That's true.
I need to rein it in, man. I almost said a bad joke about being stabbed.
Gosh. Do not think this ends here. I mean, this is the end of this timeline until Breath of the Wild, so the history of light and shadow will be written in blood.
Hey! Do you mind?
Go grab him.
I don't know.
Huh?
What? What?
Hi.
He ran away.
That whole part about whatever you desire, I will desire as well. Yep.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be really hard to break your own neck like that. Like, I mean, I go like...
Okay.
all the time. Berserker!
Yep. Such a hard time with the Master Sword getting embedded in him. Where exactly is Zant at that point? I thought he blowed up. Well, he said that he would be reincarnated again and again as long as Ganondorf willed it.
Yeah.
So that is a thing. So he existed still somewhere, waiting to be remade again. But his desire at that point was to die, which means that now Ganondorf desires the same.
Yeah.
And died.
And died.
And died.
And die. Hey, she's back! I thought he broke the thingy.
Didn't he?
He did.
Pretty sure he did.
Pretty sure he did.
Pretty sure you're right.
Well, then how's that on her head?
That's an excellent question. I have no idea. It is a magical artifact. Maybe she put it back together.
Why would she want it? Oh, hey, look, it's gone. Go ahead, Link. Hug her. I have to show a picture of the Mandalorian my dad printed. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I certainly will. See, she's prettier. She's prettier than Imp.
Okay, yeah, she's prettier in this form, but like, I like her personality as the Imp one.
It's
better.
the same person!
I know, but like, can we talk about how like she's wearing a skirt, but she's still not wearing a shirt?
What? Say something. It's not... I'm not hearing her. You've unplugged me, I think.
No,
I'm so beautiful.
I'm not hearing
I've heard
her
no
either.
words left. Yeah, you're tugging so hard that we're no longer hearing...
Ah!
Yeah, you're tugging on things and you're wild thrashing around.
Sorry!
Oh gosh.
Belly button. Oh gosh.
I like her design better when she is in her true form.
She is pretty. I've actually thought about doing her true form as a cosplay, but then I'm like, okay, let's face it though. I've got the body type of Little Midna.
Hard left.
Hard left.
I'm with Iron. Hard left.
I'm working on it. I'm changing the subject. Remember that one Midna cosplayer where like she was wearing a bodysuit but somehow still had a belly button?
Yeah, I still am trying to wrap my mind around
And I was
how
just
she
like,
did
I
that.
look at that picture all the time because I took a picture with her, and I'm like,
Actually, I took the picture, but yes.
I'm in the picture with her, and I'm always like,
Unsure if your body or if bodysuit is just really good.
so are you? Yeah, and I'm all like sitting here like, are you painted or are you wearing a? No, you're clearly wearing a bodysuit because I could. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird.
I'll forward it to you, King.
Yeah, it's like somebody look at this picture and tell me like, is she naked?
No, well, she wouldn't be at a convention if she were naked.
Okay, is she wearing panties and pasties and is painted, or is she wearing a bodysuit that somehow has a belly button?
Staring is rude.
Staring is rude. I'm staring at a picture, okay?
Of an actual person.
Of it, well, yeah, but she let me take the picture, so... I asked permission first!
Aaron says, let me see. I'll post it to the Discord server.
Yeah, just do that. And we can all, like, do a poll. Like, what's all about? Is she wearing a suit, or is she painted? Because I don't know.
It's beyond me. I have no idea.
I have no clue. Because somehow she has a belly button, which she wouldn't have a belly button if she were wearing a suit, right?
I think not. This one?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
No, she's clearly, like, wearing a suit, but then how does she have a belly button? So you can...
You can even see the pants line that she's wearing.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
I know, right? Somebody tell me how this works. Also, I was pregnant and I didn't know it.
I like Colin with his sword and shield, which is great because he said that he didn't ever want to have to carry a sword and shield around at the beginning of the game.
Oh yeah, he did.
Was it Sarge? Wild.
No, we've decided she is definitely clothed, but somehow...
Also simultaneously not.
Not.
But we can't figure out...
Which parts of her are clothed and which parts are not, in order for her to be able to show
we can tell that she is from the waist down, at the very least.
But like it's clear, it's very obvious that it is her belly button. It's not like silk screened on the suit. It's like it's an actual belly button. We are posting it as I speak. Also, I'm dressed as Keith and had a real life mullet. She half naked. Like, but like she's got her arms up and I can see where the fabric is strained around her elbow, where it's stretched over her elbow. So she at least has sleeves. I just don't know.
I posted it in the chit chat.
Like, take a look, zoom in, tell me what you think, because this very clearly is a real belly button. Like,
I think...
No, it's a real belly button. It's not a shadow, it's not silk screened, it's not printed on there.
She can't be, that's clipped to her. That's not gonna be her skin that's clipped to.
What?
Yeah.
Did she, like, stick it into her belly button? Maybe she's got like spirit glue on the inside of her belly button and she's stuffed her suit into her belly button so that she would have possible. So that it would show that she had a belly button. I don't know, but her badge is clipped to her suit.
Yep.
That Sarge just saw that and I'm like, but how do you have belly button then? Oh, she had her baby.
Yep.
Now her baby is on the outside.
Yes, that's where her baby is.
Where's your baby? Oh, wait. It's sewed in? She could have had her belly button exposed, but how? Like, did she cut?
These not in our server. These laymen won't join the server for whatever reason.
Well, if you could see the picture. I see a panty line and sleeves, but the belly button looks like she pressed it into her own with spirit gum. Yeah, see, it has to be that.
Yep.
It has to be. Like, even, like, I posted that picture on Facebook, and even my parents were like, how has she got a belly button if she...
She's like, covered.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's a couple places where you can tell. She's definitely wearing...
She's definitely covered.
Yeah, she's definitely covered by a suit, but you can't tell how she's got a belly button.
She must have just poked it in. Guess what? It's about to get sad.
Spoilers! Gosh, ruin it for people.
Ruined.
Well, I guess this is farewell, huh? Light and shadow can't mix, as we all know. But never forget that there's another world beyond, bound to this one. Shadow and light are two sides of the same coin. One cannot exist without the other.
She's definitely wearing underwear too. Both bra and panties must be uncomfortable.
I know now the reason of the goddesses left the mirror of Twilight in this world. They left it because it was their design that we should meet. Yes, that is what I believe.
I wonder if this person knows that we're having a very in-depth conversation about her belly button.
On the stream. Probably not. Zelda, your words are kind, and your heart is true. If all in Hyrule are like you, then maybe you'll do all right.
Also, so like, is Midna topless right now?
No, she's covered.
Is she? Or is that her skin?
Well, that's just the way that Twilight people look.
Because previously it was her skin. So is it her skin? Or is she topless?
I guess she's topless.
If she's topless, then why does she have to wear a skirt?
I don't have answers. Thank you. Well, the princess spoke truly. As long as the mirror is around, we could meet again. Now stop talking for a second.
Okay.
Sarge.
Sad.
See you later. Yep, and Midna is now gone forever.
Not gone.
Out of Hyrule forever.
There you go. The portal has been broken.
Yep.
Wow. It's over.
Yep. Has a handful of credits still to run, but that's Twilight Princess HD, everybody.
Woo! We did it!
Is over. She's not dead. She's just in her own realm. She severed the connection between the worlds, so she's gone forever from Hyrule.
She's not gone.
They made one. It's possible to make. Well, the goddesses formed the mirror, so they shattered the only mirror that was made by the goddesses.
I don't think Link has the kind of connection that he does with Midna with any other companion.
He doesn't. Midna is the best companion in all of the Zelda games.
Yes. Facts. Zelda is a goddess.
This is true.
Lies! You killed her! You murdered!
Well, if anything, then she committed suicide.
She unalived herself.
Yep.
Secretly, the mirror is the Twilight Realm, and Midna just murdered minimum thousands. Oh. This just got a whole lot darker.
Yep. Well, that's interesting. These spirit springs actually show the fairies in the cutscenes if you
Some
release
leader
them.
of her people. Right. Oh!
It's just the way the game goes, V. All good things must come to an end. I am sad to be leaving Twilight Princess HD. It is a phenomenal one, but we pretty much did, like, everything.
9 hours! Oh gosh, I gotta get to sleep.
You're not gonna go to sleep.
Ah! I'll sleep on the train.
Probably.
Probably.
I was low-key hoping that you'd go to bed and then decide that you'd do me a favor and get up with DLC at 7:30.
You're funny. How do you go back to being just like a farmer after...
After something like that?
Yeah.
Ask Thanos.
You have a point.
I'm sleeping tonight, says Sarge.
Uh-huh. I am not staying awake on the train with 2 people I don't know. You do know that... Oh no, yeah, right, we're meeting up with the others later.
Yep. Guess
what?
Boobs.
Boobs. Like, 6 of them.
Welcome back, Shiny Alley. Yes, indeed, you did miss the finale.
But you did not miss boobs.
No, you're just in time for the boobs. These are facts.
Should make that your, like, work lock screen.
Oh, and now we get the, Twilight Princess HD. The HD segment credits.
Boobs, but no nips. It's like rated T, okay?
As a matter of fact, Power, I did see the Rainbow Bright Mandalorian while I was there. I got a couple moments just socializing with your parents while I was over there for a brief moment. Okay, so
The guy's last name is Gizzardi.
there's about 20 minutes until time to turn.
Larson.
Yeah, it was a pretty large one, yeah. Do we want to start Phantom Hourglass? Or should we hold off until Tuesday for it?
Park. Sano.
I thought you were trying to wind down.
Swan.
This doesn't sound like winding down to me.
Wilson!
Yeah? See, caffeine has the reverse effect for her. So, because if we just go to bed right now, Keel will lay wide awake for another 3 hours before she finally passes out.
Did anybody get it? Anyone?
Nope.
Wilson!
That's, Castaway, right?
It's Castaway! But there was somebody on the credits, his last name was Wilson.
Alright, well, who needs sleep, right? So I guess
Why am I drinking it like this?
Because you're in a really, really random mood.
Who needs drugs, man?
Okay, so
when you got ADHD. ADHD is a heck of a drug.
That concludes Twilight Princess HD.
Whoa!
We are all
Did it make you laugh? Am I funny?
Yes, you're hilarious.